Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwichuk, and the purpose of today's intermittent reinforcement email message is to talk about the important concept of unconditional other acceptance. Rational and emotive behavior therapy advocates for unconditional other acceptance of the fallible humans that we live with. Now, unconditionally accepting another person does not mean that you don't hold them responsible for their behavior, that you don't acknowledge their misbehavior, that you don't even acknowledge certain traits or characteristics that you may dislike, but that you do not confuse their negative parts with the whole of them. When you hold flexible and non-extreme attitudes about other people, it's easier to unconditionally accept them as fallible humans and then to keep your eye on their behavior and their parts. Unconditional other acceptance helps us live well with people because conditional other acceptance, when we accept people on certain conditions, tends to lead to anger and condemnation of the other person. REBT emphasizes people as biological processes that are in a state of change, and that a global rating of the individual is a distortion of the nature of people. Unconditional other acceptance is consistent with the idea that people are highly complex and in a state of change, and that can't be globally rated even when they do a bad thing, because none of us know what the future holds and the behaviors that people will display in the future. Unconditional other acceptance helps us have healthy negative emotions like disappointment, sadness, sorrow, annoyance, displeasure, that allows us to acknowledge that a person is doing something we don't like, and then to feel motivated to talk to them about it. Under some conditions, we may choose not to have a relationship with an individual, but we still can unconditionally accept them as fallible humans, but choose not to spend time relating to them. I would encourage you to read today's intermittent reinforcement email message and begin to think about how unconditional acceptance of the people you live and work with will help you have healthy negative emotions that will enable you to problem solve with them and to relate to them in an effective way. Now, unconditional other acceptance is one of the three acceptances that we talk about in REBT. We also talk about unconditional self-acceptance and unconditional life acceptance. Those other forms of acceptance will be discussed in future videos, but the emphasis on today's video is to show you that we can apply a very sophisticated view of people and see them as processes in change, complex, and to unconditionally accept them as such, but to rate what they do or rate the parts of them and have healthy negative emotions towards them. I would also like to remind you that every Saturday I hold a conversation on Zoom with a volunteer and show them how to apply some of these principles of unconditional other acceptance to the fallible humans that they live and work with. It's free to attend, but you'll need the link, so you can write to me at rebtdoctor, DOCTOR, at gmail.com. It's at 9 a.m. in Philadelphia, where I am, and that's 2 p.m. in the UK, 4 p.m. in Bucharest, 6:30 in India, and 10 p.m. in Japan. I hope you can join me. We've done it now for 150 consecutive weeks, and all sorts of problems have been discussed, emphasizing how people can think in a healthy way about some of the adversities that we face in our day-to-day lives. I hope you can join me on Saturday.